Hang on, let me see. Where's the?
Oh yeah, I'm so good at survival.
I've got a compass in my survival knife.
Well, that's not terrible.
The compass is supposed to help with that sort of navigation survival thing, I believe.
And because you can roll too.
Moment.
Kalani, are you gonna roll?
Okay. Not really any information on what exact bonus the compass gives, except I can find north.
That's fine. I'm gonna record the whole thing so we can find our way back.
Kalani, the expert survivalist. Okay, also everyone make a use the force check.
Um,
Really? A 2? Really?
the rolls have been interesting tonight, it seems.
Okay, yeah, all of you can sense sort of just like a vague brightness, sort of permeating the runes. And Pakaz and Kalani, you also, like in contrast to that, you also sort of feel a little bit uneasy. Okay, Pakaz, is your goal to meet up with the other two, or to try to avoid them?
My goal is to explore. So neither.
Well, you're cloaked, so like, if you are specifically trying to meet up with them, you probably just won't.
Well, yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen. The cloaking is so that nothing gets the jump on me and kills me.
Yeah, so as you walk around, because you also like notice that some of the rooms have like a couple like bugs moving around that you recognize as Kinrath from looking on your Google query, the Dantooine Google that you looked at the Jedi Temple last session.
My Jedi Google session in the Jedi library.
So you, but they don't really notice you because you're stealthed.
What do I know about them?
You know that they're listed as typically not being hostile. They're noted just to be, I think, omnivorous insects. But it notes like not to approach their nests where they keep their eggs, because then they'll become hostile.
Then because assumes it's just fine to be near these guys. And keeps exploring.
Okay. So all of you eventually find out like you can't keep going up, so you can go down, and this whole tower just seems to be filled with like personal residences, and those are like mostly empty. There's not a lot of like stuff remaining in there. It looks all like pretty emptied out. And along the way you can see signs like footprints or other like signs that other people have been in here before you guys. So most of the stuff that's like in the rooms are just like sort of like falling apart, decomposing, like beds and like dressers, and there's like miscellaneous scraps of different like stuff, like personal effects, mostly like little bits of like metal and stuff, because anything like cloth or organic sort of is already faded away. And at the base of the tower you find there's like a large open hall that you gather was probably like a dining hall, eating area. And then you guys also, if you make your way further out from the base of that tower, there's like uh, like a hallway you can find that leads out away from the tower, and it opens up into a bunch of different rooms that you recognize as training rooms. So by now you spend like multiple hours like walking around down here, and occasionally you have a strange sense of like being watched, and you still have like that feeling of unease. And eventually you come up into like a large room that sort of like reminds Kalani and Dell of like a big like atrium that would be like in one of the current Jedi temples, where there used to be like where there would probably be like a big fountain or statue or something in the center. There's just like part of the roof is sort of like caved in. Yeah. So there's like a lot of large rocks laying everywhere because the sort of roof caved in a little bit, but it's a pretty big open room. So this is probably, you gather, probably where like the original entrance to the temple would have been. So everybody roll perception.
And whatever's trying to kill us needs to roll perception too.
Maybe it's just mad at the shadowy presence we have on us. Maybe if we just explain ourselves, it won't try and kill us.
It's not supposed to be battle music. This is just the Jedi Knight track. And it has really nice sounding parts, and unfortunately also has combat-y parts. Just ignore the combat-y parts.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, so looking around this big open room, you guys find a map of the temple that looks sort of like it was positioned so that like visitors to the temple could see a map of the temple. So do you guys want to look at the map?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm looking for archives.
Yeah, so you find it looks to probably be, it looks like this temple was originally designed to have 7 towers. So in one of the further towers, it's marked as the archives.
Are there any other interesting places marked on this map?
Yeah, all the other parts are marked. So there are 2 of the towers are marked as like residences, and then one of the towers is marked for the Jedi Council, and then one of them is marked for the archives. Then there's a combat like training tower, and then there are one tower that's marked as like research and also prisoners, and then the 7th tower is like a garden meditation area.
Research sounds interesting.
Okay, so what does that mean?
That means Picasso is probably going to wander off in that direction when he gets to the map sometime after them.
Okay, so you guys still aren't together? I mean, I'm assuming when you find the map, you probably radio Picasso and say, "Hey, we're here. Where are you?"
Yeah, probably.
So you say you're at the bottom of the tower at a map.
Well, it's a little ways off from the tower. It's
Hmm.
that large atrium area, but
Picasso's okay. And heads there.
alright, so I guess once Picasso gets here, we'll check out the archive area first.
Picasso probably gets there, and you probably just don't notice him. He's just standing there waiting.
Well, you guys can roll perception to see if you notice him.
Wondering what we're gonna do.
Dylan, Kalani, can you roll perception?
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay.
What we have totally noticed is like 30 some stealth roll. I think it was like a 35.
Well, Kalani almost noticed.
So we fast forward to the point where you guys get really
Yes.
frustrated and calms me.
Yeah, it's like, hey, Pakaz, where are you?
And you just hear me say out loud here.
Thanks. You know, we're not trying to be efficient with time or anything. Anyway, there's archive, so I don't know. Anybody else getting a slightly weird feeling here? I think we should stick together.
Yeah.
Okay. But we go
Alright.
check out that research place after.
Yeah, so we'll hit archives and then we'll check out that, and then who knows, maybe it was something secret that the Jedi Council had hidden from the archives, which might explain why it was never transferred over. So if we don't find it in the archives or the research, Jedi Council area might be a next step. Alrighty, so I think we're heading towards the archives, Kyrath.
Okay. So as you make your way down the tunnel towards towards the archive tower, the floor crumbles underneath your feet. So everyone make a dexterity check.
Acrobatics?
She should probably
sure.
be able to roll that.
Yeah, you can roll acrobatics.
Yay! I'm trained in
At least I got a
acrobatics. Surprisingly.
Okay, so yes, both of you, Del and Kalani, both do a jumping flip and sort of leap over the part where the floor is collapsing. And Pakaz also manages to leap off of the collapsing floor and make his way safely to the other side.
Wait,
So it's
do
sort
I
of-
get a +5 to all my rolls?
Why do you get a +5 to all your rolls?
I said, I was asking, do I? From the being level 10 thing?
That's the skills attributes are different. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah. The DC check for attributes is lower than the DC check for skills, because they're different.
Hmm.
But yeah, so you all made it across, and you see that sort of the ground just opened up into a little bit of a ravine cavern underneath you, because there's just sort of shifting rocks, and there's now loud echoes of sliding rocks and echoing back and forth down the hall. And you also hear some skittering off in the shadows.
I'm going to want to look around and listen carefully, because what?
Kaz is also going to be constantly scanning things because he doesn't want to fall into any more pits.
And
Yeah, Kalani, you are listening and you can hear that it sounds like the chittering of some chitinous creatures. And since
what?
you've been on Dantooine, you recognize that it's probably just Kinrath crawling around somewhere.
Ah. Why did you describe him as?
Chitinous?
That's what bug shells are made of.
Yep.
My brain is short-circuiting on that.
Okay, so everyone make another survival check with +5 for having a map.
That does not sound like the right word for me. Confused.
It's spelled chitin, but it's spelled kite. It's pronounced chitin. It was confusing for me too when I learned that. Yeah.
Good thing that I'm with you guys.
Oh, now you all get to
What's
see what the cons. Well, let's see how everyone else rolls. Everyone else rolls survival with a +5 for having a map.
I know how you can give me the consequence even with being with them. But I'll say after they roll. Del?
Yeah, it wasn't letting me put in the bonus.
Ah.
Bonus?
Yeah, you
+5
guys get
because you have a
+5
map.
for having the map.
I did not
Oh, okay. That's why it was
You see,
slower.
I can be not paying attention and wander down the wrong corridor and then get separated from them. That is how you can give me whatever the consequence you have is.
No.
We'll just say you start walking in the wrong direction, but they're like, because it's this way.
I'm invisible.
Well, once they sort of are aware of you, they can probably
Sense
track
you in the
where you
force.
are.
Like, you're not invisible in the force.
Okay, yeah, so you guys make it to the base of the tower, marked on the map, as the archives, and there are two, like, very, very large metal doors covered in moss, and they're closed.
Do they open? Is there like a, if are they stuck shut, or can we like push them open?
I don't know, do you want to walk up to them and find out?
Yes, I would.
Okay, so as you walk up to the
Alice
doors,
does not go anywhere near the doors as he walks up to them.
It's a Jedi temple. It's not a Sith temple.
That may be so.
They're not gonna. Also, it's so old. Anything that they've built probably is not functioning anymore.
okay, so as
Good.
you walk up to the doors, suddenly a figure appears before all three of you. It appears to be glowing with a blue light, but you can make out the shape of a middle-aged man in typical Jedi robes. He has his arms crossed, and he sort of slowly uncrosses his arms and looks directly at all three of you, even you, Bakaz, and says, "What are you doing here?"
First, the go-to move. I wish to examine him.
Gotta say same. Oh my goodness.
What?
You
Terrible
got
roll.
3 less than me.
I was distracted with the chat. What's happening?
Did you notice what happened?
What?
A giant blue glowing figure just appeared and asked what you were doing there. Did you miss that part?
Apparently.
Yeah, so a blue figure that's glowing with blue light, who's wearing what appears to be Jedi robes, appeared and said, "What are you doing here?" So Del and Bakaz decided to use the Force to sense it. What does Kalani do?
We are seeking information.
Okay, so Bakaz and Del, you both feel like the sort of bright presence that you felt in here is sort of more concentrated near this figure, but it doesn't seem like a discrete, like a person. Like if there was a person standing in front of you, it would feel very different. So it doesn't feel like a discrete consciousness that you can really
Does it
sense.
feel like he has enough strength of the Force to really do much of anything to us?
No, it doesn't feel like a very strong entity. There is like the brightness of the Force sort of permeating the whole building, so it's sort of surrounding you, and it's just concentrated more where this figure is standing.
Okay, so it's not
Kaz
like
ignores it and goes to walk past it.
Okay. It like swivels to look directly at you and says, "What are you doing?"
Ignore
And you
it.
feel like a chill in your spine.
Hey, Pakaz, can you hold on for a second, please?
Why?
Respect.
Because A, it's an ancient Jedi temple. B, this presence is kind of all around. We don't know exactly what it's doing. And C, can we just find out if we can just talk about this for like 10 minutes and see if we can resolve this before you just end up doing something we'll all regret later?
As you guys are talking, the figure walks over to stand like directly between the door and Bakaz, and it also like crouches down, and it's staring directly into your eyes, Bakaz, and you see that the figure's eyes are sort of like glowing blue, like vortexes of light, and it's staring directly into your face.
Gaz pokes it.
Your hand goes right through it, and the blue light sort of like ripples like water as your hand goes through it.
Gaz is entertained.
Sorry, what? Excuse my friend. He's kind of inquisitive and
Insolent.
impulsive.
This is, you're like my friend.
Look, we're here looking for some information that we couldn't find in the current Jedi archives.
The current Jedi archives.
Yeah, this. I mean, not. Oh, what are you exactly?
The more important question is, what are you? You three have brought a darkness to this place.
Yeah, see, that's what we're trying to find information on. The Sith were looking for this thing, and we destroyed a crystal, and now it's kind of stuck to us. And the Sith are still after it, and we're trying to figure out a way to get rid of it. Which is why we came here, because the Jedi archives have no information about it. And yeah, so that's why we're here. And we do apologize if the dark presence is disconcerting. And just know that we're not in league with the dark presence. We're trying to get rid of it.
A dark shadow that cannot be cleansed.
Sorry, you know what this is?
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
The question is whether you truly are opposed to it. The dark can be corruptive and hard to resist. Therefore, you must demonstrate that you are able to fight off the darkness within.
That's easy. And then Force Storm.
But
What are you
Okay.
doing?
what?
No, this is a terrible idea. Force Light's a much better idea.
Yeah.
No, you do Force Storm and then shut it off and then no darkness points.
No, that's not the kind of darkness he's talking about.
Okay, make your force roll.
Can I knock him unconscious, please?
Okay, roll initiative.
I'm not
Well, I
actually
don't
trying
do
to
it
knock him
on us or
unconscious.
him.
Okay.
I do it obviously far away from us or the direction we're going in. Let me locate. And it immediately shuts off.
Okay. The figure like looks at it and then immediately like 6x6 square area. Yes, very large. Okay. So
And there is no taint on me aside from
the whirling
the annoying
winds
shadow
like
thing
pick up and then fade away
for a split second.
quickly. And as the brief moment of shrieking winds like dies down, the figure like whirls and looks at you and says, "That is a dark side power. What are you doing with it? You will be corrupted. You must leave here at once."
Kaz yawns. As he has already sat down, is just sitting there waiting for everyone to figure out what they're going to do.
Because why do you always have to make things harder?
You wanted a demonstration that we can avoid corruption.
Yeah,
You must leave this place now.
hold on a second.
Your
You say it's a
strength.
dark side power, but what makes something a dark side power is the intent and the emotion behind it, correct?
The only intent that he has is insolence.
No, I think he was genuinely trying to prove that he's not tainted, although sometimes he may interpret things differently than most people.
The only way to
Because is just
prove
staring at this guy
that
like
you are
he's a weirdo.
untainted is by passing my test.
Okay.
How do we pass your test?
It is simple. You follow the ancient tradition of the Jedi, many who of them took this test. It is traditional to leave behind one personal item with me, the gatekeeper, before beginning. You may do so if you choose. Once you do, you will pass through this door, one at a time, and face the test.
Because groans audibly. And then asks his friend to talk with this thing.
Do I notice because staring off into space? Or what do you look like when you're doing this because?
I can mind talk to people, so
Okay.
without anything, so
Okay.
in full sentences. So probably nothing because it's just a split second.
Alrighty. Never mind then.
I'm not sure I have very much as far as personal items except my lightsabers. My lightsabers. My lightsabers are my lightsabers.
Well, I guess there's not really anything for it except to go for it. So, I'll go first, I guess. Unless you prefer to, Kalani. Okay, Del takes off his
Figure
gloves
set
and leaves it here.
points at Pakaz, says, "You must go first."
Oh boy.
Why do I need to listen to you?
Because I think it's some sort of holocron guardian of the temple, and so if we
What's a
need to,
holocron?
it's a data storage kind of. It's a way for people to store data in the Force, but it can be used for other purposes as well. Jedi
Because
and
looks
Sith both
really
can create
interested.
them. Basically, I think this was set up to protect information and secrets from people who weren't Jedi, basically. So, if we
So
want
it's like a computer?
kind of, but it's all in the Force. It's not. There's no programming.
No, I'm asking like this is some sort of force program defense.
Yeah, it's not like a. It's not
System
like a.
thing.
It's not like a Force being. So it's kind of like, yeah, I guess kind of like a. It's like a hologram, but probably can actually do things to us. Since it's in the Force, it can probably manipulate the Force in some way. And it can also grant us access, and might actually, since holocrons are data storages, it might actually, since it seemed to recognize what's on us, it probably knows what it is. So we should just go with it, and then maybe it will be able to tell us what we're looking for.
Picaz gives a really heavy sigh, mumbles something about rude computers, and then just goes wherever the thing points. Or looks at it to see what it wants him to do.
It looks at you and says, Well, will you leave a personal item as is the tradition?
Cause hands him a glow stick. A glow rod.
He grabs it. And then puts his hand into his chest, and then Glowrod disappears. Okay, he gestures at the doors, and they swing open. And the room inside is just black. So like there's some light that fades in from where you guys are standing, but it just opens up into, you know, based on like the sound property, it seems to be a very large room.
Picaz goes in, seeming somewhat exasperated by these whole hoops this thing is making us jump through.
Okay, the doors close after you, and we will come back to what happens to you in a second. Okay, then the figure looks at Kalani and Del, and it holds out its hands.
So, personal item, it doesn't. What does that mean? Yeah, what? I'm confused.
It looks at you, Kalani, and says, I see that you are a Jedi Knight. You must feel compelled to participate in the traditions of your forefathers. It is traditional to leave a personal effect before beginning the trial.
Out of character, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to leave.
Well, you saw Picaz handed a glow stick, so...
Yeah. But I'm not sure if that's because being sneaky because.
Oh, it definitely
A
is.
flashlight.
Well, it's because. Always assume he's
Yeah.
going to be sneaky because.
But I don't know if that's just him being sneaky or
It's not
if
so much
that's
Picaz being
acceptable.
sneaky as humoring the ghost.
Just remember, you're Kalani. What would Kalani do?
Yes.
What would she leave?
And is this leave permanently? Sort of thing?
I think for a Jedi it shouldn't matter.
But
Yeah, you don't have any actual possessions. What you have
Yeah.
is what's provided for you.
lightsaber.
Except for lightsaber.
Yeah, lightsabers, and I want to have.
I think as far as Jedi are concerned, there's leeway that don't have any personal, they have no possessions, but they're also extremely attached to their lightsabers. So it's okay. I think it would be okay for Kalani to be like, well, I'm not giving you my lightsaber, but I have other things I could give you.
Yeah.
I suppose I could give my survival knife. It's possibly the closest I've got to something like that.
Okay. Yeah, so you place the knife into his hand, and he takes it and puts it into his chest, where it disappears. And then he gestures again, and the doors swing open.
And I will go in.
And then after the doors swing closed, he looks at Del.
Del will take off his cloak and hand it to him.
Okay. He swings the cloak onto himself, and as it touches him, it just disappears into the blue light. And then he gestures with his hand, and the door opens again. You walk through. And now we'll go back to Garing and see what's happening there. Actually, we'll use this. This isn't actually Dantooine. This is a Nar Shaddaa thing, but it's close enough. Okay, so you guys are wandering around trying to find a dark alley. You guys, if you guys could roll stealth for me, Lexa and John. Okay, so you make your way to an alley where there doesn't seem to be anyone. There's just like some dumpsters.
I'm gonna put the box behind the dumpsters and make a check of the perimeter and motion for John to do the same.
Okay, roll
I look
perception.
around.
Actually, it's not Eagle. It's just I don't have a background for the shady part of Dantooine cities.
Right.
If you guys want to find out what was going to happen on Nar Shaddaa, you have to go back to Nar Shaddaa and find out.
Oh, we will.
No.
Yeah, you don't see anyone.
Well, we're so receptive with that. I'm certain there's no one around. I'm gonna look at the box to see if there's directions, because we never ever actually asked if they were supposed to take this place. Is there a note that says take this someplace?
Yeah, he handed you a piece of flimsy plastic that has an address on it before you walked away to grab the box. And he said,
What is
like he basically told you, like, go over there and get the box from Henry and take it to this address, and he slid you the paper.
What is the address?
It's an address that's in the East District of the city.
Which one of us took the address?
Either one of you, whoever wants to say they took it, can take
I
it.
took it.
Okay.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
I'm looking.
Let's open it.
Well, yes, but let's not just bust it open. What if it's explosives? Obviously, we're gonna open it. I want to examine it. I don't want to use perception, because I suck at it. I'm going to use mechanics to look and see if it's trapped.
I've been blown up before.
Okay.
Okay, well, I don't want to share that experience. See, I can do this.
Yeah. So you notice that this is a box that doesn't appear to be trapped. It's a very dark gray color, and it's made of metal, and it has like a hinged top, but it doesn't seem to be easy. Like, it doesn't just open when you like lift the lid. It seems like it's sealed. Also, if you you notice that it does seem to maybe have some internal gyroscope or what's the word I'm looking for? Like, not stabilizers. Things that stop from bouncing. What are those called? Blanking on the word for it.
Describe it
Dampers?
again?
Shocks.
Yeah, like shock absorbers, sort of.
Inertial dampeners? Inertia dampeners?
Yeah, inertial dampeners would be like a technical, sciencey aura field. These are more just like a physical thing, like shock absorbers, pretty much.
Okay. Is there a way to open it with that mechanics check? That I could open it and make it close it again so that it would look like it wasn't opened.
there's a way to make another mechanics check to try to do that, what you just said. Which you gather might be possible with your first check that you were analyzing the box with.
It's
Okay.
not bad.
Yep. You mess around with the hinges and the top of the lid, and eventually you like find a way to get the lid to release so it pops open.
Okay, before I fully open it, I look at John and say, "You ready?"
I'm ready. Ready, Freddy. I mean, Betty.
Okay. I still don't. Okay, whatever. And I open it.
Okay, inside you see a spherical, like, metal object that has like some wiring and different stuff on it.
It's a spherical metal object.
Roll perception. Or knowledge technology. Actually, yes. Well, everyone roll knowledge technology. Not everyone. You too.
The dice.
Where?
Actually,
There
John
it
didn't
is.
even see the spherical metal object. He said, "There's, this glare from that light right over there coming past that dumpster. I don't even think there's anything in this box."
What did I just guess right? I just yelled out what it is.
You rolled a 1, though. What he said.
Okay, I guess I just guessed right.
I look at you like, wow, that's amazing. That's exactly what's in the box.
Do I still roll that roll or not?
Knowledge technology? Yeah, you can.
I don't. Okay. No.
No, what's in
I-
the box?
Okay. um.
I really hope you're at least on lookout duty.
Okay, Lexa, you see that upon closer examination, there is like some controls on the top of the box, on the top of the sphere thing too. That it looks maybe like a bomb or something.
Oh, joy. That's kind of what I thought it was. Okay. Can I make a mechanics check to see if I can figure out how this works?
Sure. Yeah, looking at it, you see it can either be remote detonated or there's also a timer. There's also just like a manual override that you can activate the bomb immediately if you so desire. And looking over the bomb, you also notice that there doesn't seem to be anything that would act as like an explosive payload for the bomb, and instead it seems like it might actually be an EMP bomb, electromagnetic pulse.
Oh. I don't like that. Well, I have good news and I have bad news. The bad news is that this looks like it's some kind of EMP bomb. Also, is the timer going?
No. Yes, that's an important detail. The timer is not going. The timer panel is just black, not on.
However, the good news is wherever they were planning on doing with it, they're not going to. At least not with this thing.
I think we need to find out more about what's going on. The delivery address we got, is it a target for this bomb, or is it, are they comrades of the people that we're delivering it for, who are just expecting to receive it to use it to bomb somebody else with it?
I don't know.
Like, we don't know
Maybe if
anything
we go-
about this.
No. But the fact that it's an EMP and not just some sort of regular bomb, that seems to me like whatever their objective is, it's either to capture or disrupt, but not destroy. Perhaps if we went to the address just to see what's there, we might get spoons. But I get the feeling that this is not something that they'll come after us for stealing. It's not valuable in any way. If they're giving it to us, they must have a backup. My dilemma is, I want to tell the authorities about this so that perhaps they could stop whatever's going to happen. But if we do that, we blow any shot we ever have of infiltrating those people and finding more out.
This kind of stuff is not really my area of expertise, so I don't really have any suggestions.
How many hours till Aelin shows up? Out of character.
Let's see. Well, it probably took you about an hour to get to the place, and then we'll say like another hour, and you guys were like there at the thing for. So I'd say like an hour, because the shuttle ride is only like 15 minutes, so it's probably like 4:30 right now.
I mean, now that I know what this is, I know what to look for. I could probably disable any sort of devices we find in the future. But I still don't know what to do in this case. Usually I'm just given a job and then I carry it out. I'm not very good at this infiltration stuff. I don't know. Do you think we should wait for Aelin before making any decisions, or do something with this?
I'm just thinking out loud here, but can you remove one or two small components to bring with us and leave the rest of this bulky thing here so it's inert and relatively safe, and then go scout out this address location and see where we're supposed to be taking it to?
I can probably render it inert. The better plan is I was careful when I opened this box. I might be able to disable it, make it look like it's just faulty, put it back in the box so we could deliver it. That's also a gamble, though.
Well, let's do your thing that you said.
Alright. I'll need you to keep a lookout. I probably will need a little bit of time just to fiddle and make sure that it doesn't go off.
Okay.
Probably should note, if it does go off, it probably won't affect you, but it most definitely will affect me. What kind of area are we in? Are we in an area that if the power went out here, like, are we near a hospital or something, or is it just like homes?
Yeah, you found a spot it's not a residential area. It's like a bunch of different like shopping district-ish area, like a CD shopping area. You're
So
in like the
nothing
back alley
important
between some
would be
stores.
destroyed if the power went out.
Not that you would notice or think about. Yeah.
Okay, let's hope I don't roll a 1. I'm gonna try and disable it.
That would be
I'm
a
trying
great
to
time
save
for
it,
a
no.
1.
That means I'm just gonna like shut down. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try and disable it in a way that makes it look like the device itself is faulty and not that it's been tampered with.
Okay. Make a mechanics check.
Ooh.
I know that that's good. I'm just gonna roll a force point just cause.
Okay. So you tamper with the bomb, and you are able to, without setting it off, able to change some of the circuitry so that you think that the bomb is no longer functional.
Okay. I carefully put it back in its spot. I close the box and try and make it look like it hasn't been tampered with at all.
Okay. How about we take our break here, since I need to go use the restroom.
Okay.
So we'll take a
Alright.
10-minute break.
Okay.